Good afternoon. The Committee on Water and Land on its hearing notice of Thursday, March 20th at 12:30 will be heard shortly as well on this particular item, HB 511, House Draft 1 relating to public lands. At this moment, for those on Zoom land and the public, we will take a short recess while our members of the committee returns to room 16 for this hearing as well. We just ended our chamber work just minutes away ago. And so we're going to do a short recess pending the arrival of the rest of the committee members. Okay, thank you. The Committee on Water and Land is up and ready to hear its first notice of hearing on March 20th, Thursday, in room 16. And the agenda item is HB 511, House Draft 1, and just some housekeeping measures. Those who, I'm sorry, is this DM? Oh, it's a hearing. Hearing. All right. I do need to make this announcement. For those of you who are, I'm sorry, for those that will be presenting testimony on this measure, we're going to limit the testimony to 2 minutes. Just to advise that the live video of this hearing can be found on the Senate's YouTube channel, and decision-making will follow after the hearing from all testifiers as well. Okay, we'll continue, members, on HB 511, House Draft 1. This is relating to public lands, provides that a survey of the land to be set aside shall not be a condition precedent to the setting aside of public lands to any department or agency of the state. 1 second. Department of Ag. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here.
No problem. Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Cedric Gates here on behalf of the Department of Agriculture. The department offered its comments on this measure, supporting the intent and asking for clarification on some things. You have our written testimony. We're here for any questions. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Department of Land and Natural Resources.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. The department stands on its written testimony and support.
Okay.
We're available for questions.
Thank you very much. We also had sent communication from Russell Tsuji, DLNR. Kevin, is he going to be on Zoom?
He may just be monitoring.
Oh, okay. On Zoom that we were advised, Russell, are you there? Okay, hearing none. The Hawai'i Cattlemen's Council, Nicole Galassi on Zoom. Aloha.
Thank you, Chair Inouye, Vice Chair Elefante, members of the committee. Nicole Galassi on behalf of the Hawai'i Cattlemen's Council. HCC is in support of this measure. This is an important piece of successfully implementing Act 90. Unfortunately, surveys are expensive. They take a long time, and they may not be the best use of funds, seeing as how these lands are transferring between departments within the same state. Right now, there is currently a survey holding up an Act 90 transfer for Kapapala Ranch. And noting that DOA has some concerns, I want to point out that one option would be a win-win for saving funds, for supporting food production, for ensuring there's continued land management on the ground, is to fully transfer the whole lease over, rather than splitting it up and only transfer part of the lease, which is what is currently necessitating a survey. A transfer of the full leases would be most preferred by the producers stewarding these lands, and it would also result in the most benefit for the state. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you very much. Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Brian Leamon here on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau, will stand on the written testimony in support.
Thank you very much. Leonard Nakoa on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Tara Rojas on Zoom. Any standby, IT?
Aloha, can you hear me?
Aloha, Tara, is that you, Tara?
Yes, this is me, Tara. So Tara Rojas, I stand in strong opposition to this bill, HB 511, as it directly conflicts with foundational principles of constitutional law and property jurisprudence. So first and foremost, Black's Law Dictionary clearly defines due process of law as fundamental fairness and adherence to established procedural safeguards, particularly those protecting property rights. By removing surveys as a prerequisite to land transfers, HB 511 violates these critical procedural safeguards, ignoring clear legal boundaries and therefore undermining due process. Yeah, it is a maxim of law that certainty is the mother of repose. Without accurate, transparent surveys, uncertainty and confusion will inevitably arise, fomenting disputes, infringing upon property rights, and harming public trust interests. The bill explicitly attempts to shield state officials from judicial scrutiny and accountability through immunity, violating the fundamental principle that no one is above the law. Furthermore, according to Article 14, Section 1 of the Hawaii State Constitution, public lands constitute a trust, holding government actors accountable as trustees to uphold fiduciary duties, eliminating necessary conditions such as surveys fail this fiduciary obligation and weakens the state's capacity to protect the steward land responsibly. In addition,
Thank you, Tara. Time is
That's-
up. Thank you
that's
so much.
Not 2 minutes, but you, under Article 12, Section 7, the state bears a fiduciary duty as a trustee of Crown lands. HB 511 compromises the responsibility by diminishing transparency and legal accountability, threatening Kanaka Maoli rights on whose land you live on, and diminishing public oversight. Representatives, uphold your oath to protect constitutional rights, preserve due process, and honor your fiduciary duty to the Kanaka Maoli beneficiaries of Crown lands. Reject HB 51 outright, and we have the public, we as the people have the right
Thank you very much, Tara. We have received 5 other comments or testimony in opposition. Is there anyone else wishes to speak to HB 511, House Draft 1? Okay. If not, members will go into decision-making on this measure. And that's rather interesting that this measure had no attorney general's testimonies in the measures before us. So unfortunate, we can't respond to the comments made on Zoom as well. Just to add, and IT, we will not go into recess. We'll be going into decision-making on this measure. I'd like to add that we will be making amendments to this measure. And just to add, and this came as well from our good colleague, Senator Decoit from Maui as well. And I have gone through this recommendation and would like to offer, and I'll read the amendments that will be made and for discussion. With regards to Section 2 on the amendment to Section 171-11 on the HRS, it entitles tiered survey requirement based on land type. And the new language to be added in Section 171-11 on HRS-A will be adding high-risk lands. And these are conservation area lands adjacent to private property, lands with existing infrastructure, a survey required before transfer. And B, low-risk lands, existing state lands, agriculture lands under clear historical records. Survey may be deferred provided that sufficient mapping or GIS data is available. as well as the BLNR in consultation with the DLNR shall determine risk categories before any transfer. Secondly, the conditional land transfers with deferred surveys, there's a new provision to be added. And this, in quote, if a land survey is not conducted prior to the set aside, the recipient agency shall complete a survey within 5 years of the land transfer, unless an exemption is granted by the BLNR based on sufficient pre-existing documentation or GIS mapping. And thirdly, authorization of GIS as an alternative to surveys, a new language will be added. In cases where a formal land survey is not conducted prior to the set-aside, the DLNR may utilize Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, as we all refer to, mapping, existing tax parcel maps, and aerial imagery to define approximate boundaries for administrative purposes. Any GIS-based boundary assessments shall be subject to review and approval by the Land Survey Division of the Department of Accounting and General Services, who we all know as DAGS, to ensure accuracy. And fourth, the State Land Register and Digital Records requirement, a new provision requiring public tracking of transfers. A centralized digital registry shall be established under DLNR to track all public land transfers, including GIS-generated maps, survey records, historical descriptions, and all related documentation. This registry shall be accessible to state and county agencies. And lastly, mediation and dispute resolution mechanism, the new language added to resolve potential boundary disputes. And the addition will read, if any dispute arises regarding the boundaries of land set aside under this section, the BLNR shall establish a mediation process for resolution before legal action is taken. And this process shall include consultation with affected stakeholders and, when necessary, review of GIS mapping data. So members, my personal recommendation on HB 11 is to add these new amendments. Any discussion?
HB 5.
Yes, and this will be added to HB 511 House Draft 1. And with that said, members, any discussion on these amendments?
No.
Senator McKelvey.
Yeah, I think I had concerns of, despite the goal, because I think kind of the cattleman's hit upon what should be the ideal solution. That's in another bill, but I appreciate the changes that my good colleague from Molokai is making with the bill. And I know that she cares deeply about ensuring the integrity of our public land system as well as helping our ranchers. So I'll go ahead and support the bill because of Senator Coit's amendments that are included in the measure.
Yes, and as well, this measure will be going to the Committee on Judiciary as well. And so recognizing that, members, Chair's recommendation on HB 511 House Draft 1 relating to public lands is to pass with amendments. Okay. Here, any discussions? Hearing none, Vice Chair for the vote, Chair goes aye.
Chair's recommendation is to pass House Bill 511, House Draft 1 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Senator Chang.
Aye.
Senator McKelvey.
Yes.
Senator DeCourt.
No.
Madam Chair, recommendations adopted.
Thank you very much. This concludes then the Water and Land hearing notice of March 20th at 12:30 as well. Thank you very much for your participation.